Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Canescast. I am Garrett here with you guys again. Well, we had another really tough weekend. It's getting to be kind of ridiculous that we have the same introduction almost every week here. But Miami was competitive in the game against Florida State. We could not get it done. We couldn't beat those guys. There was some life in the team. It really seemed like there was a chance up until the end. We could have maybe tied the game again. We actually had the game. We were up at one point in the game. So what's going on? Again, it's like we're on. I'm just putting out the same episode every weekend. It's the defensive side of the ball is showing up. They're doing really good things, guys. The team on the defensive side of the ball is not letting us down. So there are some rumblings. I have seen that maybe our defensive coordinator might find another job. I can't blame him if he were to take another job at this case. I would be disappointed as a fan because I think he is goods. I really think if we lose Lance Guidry for our defensive coordinator, we will take a step back because he's shown a propensity to get this team ready, make adjustments when they're needed. He has not had. There was a game in the North Carolina game. There was a time in the North Carolina game where they did have a little bit of a lull, and that led to 21 points coming really fast. But outside of that, I really think that this team and this side of the ball has really been what we need in our program. Miami should play with this type of a defense, and we've seen that. Manny Diaz ran the defense for a couple years before he became head coach, and there was some strides being shown from their previous defensive coordinator in Mark Nodi that we had. So this is what's frustrating when one side of the ball gets their stuff together, then the other side of the ball is not doing the same thing, and here we are. We're just not where we want to be yet. So again, Emory Williams showed a lot of toughness. Making that play at the end where he got hurt, trying to get that stretch that ball across to get the first down. It's disappointing that the young fella got hurt and he will be out the rest of the season. But what's even more disappointing is that Tyler Van Dyke, the guy that's been our quarterback for now 3 years, can't come in the game and with the game on the line do anything more than turn the ball over and the game's gone. And that's just what I cannot wrap my head around. That whatever reason, Mario Cristobal is putting his hands on this side of the ball, and he's wringing them lifeless. You know what I mean? This is now the second offensive coordinator in a row. So we can't sit here and say last year maybe it wasn't the offensive coordinator. I think you could make an argument that Tyler Van Dyke was actually playing better last year than he is this year. He had a couple good games early in the season this year, but outside of that, we are falling flat on our faces. And I think that now you see that there's two offensive coordinators that now can say that this is just not good enough. It's not going anywhere good. The trajectory is going somewhere where we do not want to be. It's got to fall on the head coach because there's now more than one example that this is not Miami expectations. We cannot keep playing this way on offense and play for anything significant. This is not good. This is really not good. So I've said it in several episodes in the past. There's a guy sitting on the bench. We don't even know what he's got as far as capabilities. He's got 2 years in the program, and he has a great deal of potential. And as far as I've seen plays where you like, wow, that's what we would like to see on the field as an athlete, that when things are not there, we can, he's a big kid. He can take some yardage, run over a guy or two, and eventually when he gets time on the field, there will be significant gains because we're not doing anything on offense that's outside of him running the ball right over to the receiver. I don't know how you can say he can not handle that. And when the offensive side has been struggling to gain real yardage on the ground, outside of Don Chaney's couple runs in this Florida State game, we had no significant running game. And that's what is pissing me off to no end, is that we have a guy at the quarterback position that could possibly change that trajectory. he could threaten the defense in another way that would help make the running game, at least if you're not going to have a good passing game, then you at least have a potential for a good running game. And the fact that they're not playing this guy, I'm going to sit here and start punching myself in the face every time I watch these games because I'm so frustrated how we are not giving that a chance. How do we keep going back to a guy that has proven he cannot get it done? He's had plenty of opportunity to take this job and pass it all over the field, and that's not happening. So what the heck are we doing? I will just never understand it. I will not sit here and stop harping on this point because it's getting so ridiculous to watch our offensive side of the ball struggle so far. I got to give Jacoby George a lot of credit. He made those 2 catches. The first one where he caught the ball and ran down we ended up getting a field goal because we couldn't do anything outside of that. He made a great play on that play and the play where he got the catch right in between 2 defenders. That was all Jacoby George. That was not a great pass. That wasn't a great play. Emory Williams, you got to give him some credit for taking the shot, but that wasn't a great throw. The guy wasn't open. The defenders made a mistake to let that ball slip through both of their fingers, and then it ends up in Jacoby George's hands, and he really goes 85 yards on touch for a touchdown. So again, that's not a great design and play. That wasn't a great scheme. That was really just luck. But this is what's so absurd to watch is that a fan, when you're like, hey, you got to take shots down the field. I understand you can't. And this was there was a contentious press conference for Penn State's coach where he's like, how dare you suggest we throw the ball up and just wing it? What are you talking about? Wing it? What an idiot. That's the stupidest question I've ever heard. Well, that's what happens when you push the ball down the field. Yeah, it might be an interception, but guess what? You've thrown the ball 50 yards down the field. It's no worse than a punt. You know what I mean? Sure, a bad thing could happen. The cornerback might make a great play, and all of a sudden he runs for 70 yards the other way. But is that really, where are the percentages on that? I think they're pretty low. You know what I mean? So how are we not at least pushing out a couple of those plays? If you're not getting anywhere, throw the damn ball down the field. See what's going to happen. By all means, it might get a penalty. You might get the case where Jacoby George goes 85 yards. We might get some big plays out of these. So again, doesn't make any sense to me. So with all that said, we didn't get it done against Florida State. Got to give their side of the ball, their team. They won the game. They came out when we got even. They went down, scored, and that was it. That was all we could muster up. That was as close as we got. So now we are coming home. Louisville is coming into Miami's home turf, and what will we see this weekend? Louisville has everything to play for. If they get the job done this weekend, they have the inside track as playing Florida State in the ACC championship game. They've been in this conference for 4 years now, and now all of a sudden they really have the potential. And I think they could supply if they get to play in the game. They could beat that Florida State team. I don't see. Florida State is a good, talented team, but they're not unbeatable. They've had a couple potential games where they literally could have gone the other way. One against Miami, that's not even playing good offensively. So I don't think that if Louisville comes in and takes care of business against Miami, which I do, unfortunately, I want to puke every time I say this. Miami's probably not going to win this weekend as far as I can tell. Again, you have Louisville with everything to play for. The momentum's all on their side. They have a lot of confidence. I can't sit here and tell you I've been able to sit and watch a ton of Louisville games this year, and it's just not the case. So I don't want to sit here and tell you like I'm an expert. I know everything. But I've seen plenty on our end that it shows me that things are not going to go well on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, for whatever reason, maybe all of a sudden the defense gets a sack or pick up a ball and scores, and all of a sudden we can win the game that way. That has happened. We don't win the NC State game. I'm sorry, not the NC State. We don't win the Virginia game without Cam Kitchens getting an interception and returning it for 6. So that could happen again. That's the only way I see a potential for Miami being able to beat Louisville this weekend is if somehow defensively a big play happens. Maybe a big kick return because Brashad Smith, does have that potential. That things can happen. It's football. But outside of something miraculous, I don't see us just going down there playing good offensively, good defensively, good on the kicking game, and then just deserving victory and flat out blowing Louisville out of the stadium because we're not playing well at home. We're not defending Hard Rock. I just don't see where all of a sudden that changes this weekend. And again, it's football, surprises, it can happen. But as far as my best accounts as a guy that watches a lot of football, and it's been a bad couple weeks for me. I started something during my days that's kept me away from sitting and watching as much football as I normally would. So this is me more going off of history and what generally will happen. But it is, this is where we're at. I can't sit here and tell you why things are where they are, how Mario Cristobal can't get out of his own way and put a decent offensive scheme together, because now we're sitting at two coordinators and really can't get it done. And I think that's more of a direct reflection on the head coach than it is their potential and their abilities. So, hey, I love my Hurricanes football. It makes me sick to watch them not play well for all these years, and things are just not going the right way. So I am a fan forever. I will be back to share my thoughts again after this game. I will put a score prediction. I'm going to say it's another close one. Louisville will be 17. Miami and their ineptitude on offense puts up 10 points. That's the best I can really tell you. I feel good about saying. And again, something miraculous could happen and that score could change and we could be victorious. But let's just say it's more of a crossing our fingers and hope. We are not a dominating team, so it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen when the team coming in to play in our territory has everything to play for. So, hey, can't wait to watch it. Hope to see you guys next weekend, and then who knows how it goes. But Canes fan here for life, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you. I have noticed a couple people are leaving comments on the last few videos, so keep them coming. I will always respond to every comment and keep the good vibes going, guys. Appreciate you all. Thanks for watching Canescast. See you next weekend.